What's up, Sky Squad? We are back in the building. So we got a couple of things that we got to talk about on today's show. All right. We're talking about Pinky Cole. We're talking about Sierra Gates from Love and Hip Hop. Might we want to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville? I got some tea, and I don't even know if I put this in the rotation for us to discuss. Let me add it to the mix right now. Okay. Let me add it to the mix right now because, baby, I mean, oh God. Love and Marriage Huntsville. I mean, man, let me tell you something. When I say telenovela of it all, I am really telling y'all telenovela of it all. So we're gonna get into all of that. Let me open up the comments so I can see you. Happy Thursday, Bay Buddha TV. What's going on, boo? Hey, what's up? Conversation cocktails. Yes, caught a live. We in the building. And so I wanted to do this live because I wanted to test out a couple of things. So we're going to hope and pray that all of this works the way that I want it to work so we can see what's really going on with this software. All right. So let's go ahead and dive straight into the tea. First things first, y'all, Pinky Cole is going to be telling all today. What I learned earlier was that she has done an interview with Earn Your Leisure. Now, our brothers from Earn Your Leisure have been doing the good work, helping the people with, building businesses and finances for the past several years. And they interview quite a few celebrities. And their latest video, Pinky Cole breaks down filing for bankruptcy, losing $100 million business. And the thumbnail reads 100 million to bankruptcy, the comeback. So that video is actually out right now. It was released about an hour ago if you're watching this right now currently. So they posted this on their social media page, and I come from the space of this. I know what it's like to run businesses. Definitely haven't yet made it to the $100 million business, but I understand what it means to invest in something and lose it, right? There have been investments that I have made that I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. Get me and my kids. And I don't even have no kids. Get me and my kids out of here. So that's why I look at this situation with Pinky with a different set of eye lenses because I understand there are certain things that I feel like when you are in big business in that way, I understand what it's like to overextend yourself. And now, of course, the bigger you get, you got to start looking at certain things and kind of moving differently. And when you've never really been taught the fundamentals of business in the way that some people are handed generational wealth, it is definitely not always easy to maintain. Now, I do understand that there are certain lawsuits that she has out there with regards to allegations of non-payment. And I hope that that's something that she can also get squared away too, because we know people deserve to be paid. So, hopefully there's a way to settle all that. But given that she's in this situation, it's no shock to me that people may not have been getting paid. Correct? So I'm gonna watch this during my downtime, and we'll talk about it, in the future. But I did want to let you know that she is speaking out and she will be spilling the tea. It looks like this interview is about an hour long. So it's a nice good, lunchtime or driving home interview to watch, as you are driving home from work or wherever you might be headed to this afternoon. Okay. All right. So let's now get into Sierra Gates, y'all. Sierra. That Sierra always got something going on. She has always got something cooking. Now, before I want to tell you, before I play this clip, I want to make sure it plays. So y'all let me know if you can hear it. And I'm going to do a quick test, okay? Let me know if you can hear this. All right, first things first, before we dive in any further, could you all hear that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. We're doing this live for a reason because I want to make sure that that audio is coming through. So just give me a yes or no if you could hear what she said in the chat. As soon as I get an affirmative, then we'll continue on with her big announcement. Okay. Someone says no. Okay, you guys say no, you could not hear it. Let's see how we can fix that real quick. I'm gonna play it for you guys right here since we can't do that. And see, this is the benefit of doing it live because I'm still gonna play it. We're gonna go to Sierra Glam Shop.
I just wanted to come on to tell everybody thank you for your call, your texts, your DMs. My hair has been all over the place this week. I literally had to gather myself to put some clothes on to make this video. I've always been very transparent with my following. I just want to say Zay is not a horrible person. I feel like, I have a lot of healing and growing to do. And, Zay was the first person that I actually added to one of my companies, and with this divorce, and the transition that we're going through, I have made the executive decision to actually close down Ghetto Girl Eats, and I know I'm saying myself. We had the warehouse that was opening up where you guys would be able to receive your orders in 5 to 7 days, all of this big stuff, but God makes no mistakes. And I don't think this is going to be a crazy thing. I just may have to do a name change. You guys will be able to shop one final time. My whole entire site is 50% off. Once everything is gone, it's gone. So once it says sold out, it's just sold out. We will not be restocking until everything settles, until the dust settles. My supporters, I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys so much. Y'all know your girl is going to come back bigger, better, and stronger than ever. I can't lie. I am sad. I can't sit on here and act like I'm just, get money, see, whatever. No, I am sad because this was my best friend, my lover, my husband, my number one fan, my biggest supporter. And, you never know what the future may hold, but for right now, this is what it is, and you guys will be hearing from me soon. I love you guys, and thank you so much.
Okay. So let's talk. Literally just a few posts ago, she was posting about sending out orders. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. When I last spoke about this whole situation with her and this divorce, I distinctly recall saying something to the effect about not letting these men, okay, into your business or your businesses. I understand that it's love. I mean, it might be, I found love in a hopeless place. It might be that, okay? It might be love in a hopeless place. But by golly, Miss Molly, what are we doing incorporating this latest man into your business enterprise? Is it me? Or I could have swore she had this business before she met him. I don't really know because I done lost track of the people between her and Carly Red on this show. And here's the thing. I would be saying this if it were the reverse. If we were talking about a male cast member doing the same thing, I just want you to understand, like, the observation is still going to be the same. Okay. But my suspicion was when this divorce was announced or when it was brought up on the TV screen, something in me said, please don't have involved this man in your business. It is just like with Latricia on Bell Collective. If you watch Bell Collective, you will have seen in the upcoming episode that Glenn tells Latricia Pearson that he wants to be a part of her business. Oh, he should manage her. Abso-effing-lutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. There is no way in any way, shape, or form. Sierra, you've been on this show for too long for you to not know better than this. I am disappointed in this whole situation, not only for myself, but for you. I don't know why I don't know why I'm so disappointed for myself. I think it was because I expected so much better. You know, a lot of these people get on these, and here's the thing: we all make mistakes. That's not. Again, we just got finished talking about Pinky Cole and the mistakes that she has made as well. Mind you, I'm actually gonna go and get Pinky Cole's book because number one, I want to learn about her story. And I also I'm going to go get Amanda Francis's book from Beverly Hills too, because I don't like the way they treat her. And I personally, as somebody who believes in the power of manifestation, I feel like I manifested everything I got. Okay. Between my own manifestations and the blessings of God, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, let me take it on back. Sierra, you've been on this show long enough to know better than this. You have had situations come and go, marriages, divorce, this, that, and the third. And I can't for the life of me in the whole money monsters of it all, as typically like to profess on the gram, in which I believe you get money. I believe Sierra is getting to the bag. That is, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that she can teach others how to get to the bag. Okay? That business, Ghetto Girls Eats, it seemed like it was doing really, really, really well. And I like that for her. But what I don't like is these almost dilly decisions. These dilly decisions when it comes to these dudes. And I'm not saying he came to the picture with nothing, and I'm not saying he didn't add nothing to the mix. But baby, you could give me some advice in the bedroom. Okay, we could be laying in the bed and you could be giving me pillow talk advice, but that don't mean that you get a piece of the business. Absolutely not. No, do you go with your Here's the thing. This is what I like to say to people. Do you go with your spouse to work? Now, unless y'all conceptualize this business together, okay, and maybe that was the case. I really don't know. I can't recall at this point, but I could have swore she had this business before he came along. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that she did not, okay, and that she had it before. Girl, in what way, shape, or form would you think it would be a good idea to go hand in hand on this? No, absolutely not. Even if he wanted to give you a business idea, it will have to be a situation where I will pay you as a business consultant, but you will not get nay piece of this. So now I got to sell out my inventory. So now I got to change the name of it. You know what I'm saying? My problem with this is she don't have a history of 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 being a good picker. Okay? And so for that reason alone, I, as her management team, would have advised everything against ever doing anything like this. And I hope she never does anything like this ever again. Okay. And the reason I asked, do you go to work with your spouse, is because it is the same thing for me. For this situation and my understanding of it. Like, if he don't go to work with you, I mean, you don't have you and your spouse don't have to share every single thing. There are some things in the marriage that will be just yours. Most often, the best example of that will be your job. You know, you understand. Do you get it? Your husband, your wife, they not generally, unless you working together with you at the office, making decisions when it comes down to the wire. It don't have nothing to do with them. You might come home and tell them about it. Right. You do most things together already. You need something for yourself. I'm an advocate of that. And it ain't because I'm looking down the long run at some level of separation. No, it's just about you still have to be a person. Okay? A marriage, a relationship, any relationship is two whole people coming together. And in order for you to be whole, you have to have some things for you that you do that bring you satisfaction, income, residual income, whatever that may be. Okay. So, Sierra, I want you to get this business back up and running. I don't want you to ever, ever, ever make this mistake ever again. Okay? Because it is completely avoidable. And I think that because you're building enterprises that you can see. Here's the thing. I always tell people this, and I told people this in our masterclass on Tuesday, and I'm gonna give it to y'all for free. This one little thing, and it could change your life. When you get on these platforms, whether you are a big creator, a small creator, a reality TV star, your goal is to build businesses that you can walk away from. Yes. So that when all of this show ends, your business is still running. Okay? Let me give you a prime example of this. Now, I don't know how much her husband is in this business, but I'm just going to give you an example of what I mean, okay? Stormy Steele, okay? With the body glazes, okay? Y'all know about the body glazes. You know about the body glazes, okay? I was using some of these earlier, all right? I'm right now wearing the pineapple upside down drops. I'll slap some roll on with it. I keeps these in my travel bag. These over here in my travel bag. The reason I say I bring her up is because whether or not when she left the show because she already had her business, it didn't really matter. The business kept going. And so you don't need any of the show or all of those things to continue to thrive. And that's what we want for you, Sierra, because the people are saying that this is the last season of Love and Hip Hop anyway. And to be quite honest with you, I understand why people are saying it, not because I feel like the show isn't doing well, but because I know what's going on behind the scenes over down to the Paramount. Okay? What the business decisions are going on and what they might be looking like because of what's happening over to the Paramount. That's what I know. All right. So I want you to seriously get this together real quick because I think you can. You're gonna have to do some name changes. And Lord knows, I don't understand why he got anything to do with the name of your business. But that's a whole nother situation for a whole nother day. We have discussed this, we have beat this down and to the ground. And now I'm about to beat something else down into the ground. Are y'all ready? Are we ready for another beaterization? Okay. My. So I was setting myself up to get online today to talk to y'all. Okay. Um, oh, listen, I love me some Seventh Avenue beauty products as well. Like, I don't think you have to choose either or. I think you can do both. You know what I'm saying? Support them all. I started with 7th Avenue Premier Skincare Beauty Products. Um, I was fortunate enough to be able to work with her. So if I still had some product on hand, best believe I'd still be using it. I just happen to have these because I ain't run out of them yet. I say support them all. Support them all. Um, and support me too. Okay. Wouldn't he say support me, B? Right. Candy's a good example. Candy is another good example. Valerie Reed. She left the Housewives and she's still pushing, right? She's still got the things going on, and I think that's how you want to be. Let's talk about Latricia because I did just see this preview come out. Y'all kept saying it in the chat the other day. That was it. Y'all kept saying in the chat the other day that Latricia and Ken are not divorced. And for some reason, I thought to myself, I was like, self, but didn't they have some paperwork that was drawn up in a season prior? Now, because the seasons run kind of crazy with Love and Marriage, Huntsville, I don't know where we are in time. I almost feel like time does not really exist in the same way that it does for other reality TV shows because this season is still airing and it started filming last March or April or so, or whatever the case may be, February, March, or April. So what we're seeing now, I just don't even know when it was filmed, and I don't know anything. I feel like I'm caught up in a vortex of time with this show. But in this clip right here, this lady says she is talking to Miss Nell and Destiny and talking about how Ken wants a baby. Wasn't it just 2 weeks ago you were calling this woman a pathological liar? Here is she who you were just calling a pathological liar. Why? I'm sorry, Marquez. If I said Ken, who knows at this point? The woman is still married to Marquez, correct? I thought that there was paperwork, right? And thank you for correcting me, Magnolia. I thought they had signed the paperwork. I thought the divorce was the final. I thought that this thing had went through. You couldn't have paid me to think that y'all are still going, you and Ken are still having these types of issues when you are still married. Girl, now I'm mad. Now I'm mad because I feel like I'm being played. I feel like, come on with the receipts, baby. Come on with the receipts. I feel like I'm being played. The reason I say that is because I'm like, girl, you ain't got the divorce yet. Because Nell and Destiny are both like, girl, shouldn't you be? Well, Destiny, I think Destiny says it. Shouldn't you clear the air, the ink, the divorce before you guys get into this? And Miss Nell is like, girl, is he trying to trap you? Because she's like, men be trapping too. Like they make it clear, like it ain't like the people be always talking about people. I'm just saying, when people be talking about these things, they be trying to make it seem like the woman was trying to trap the man. But in this situation, Miss Nell is wondering, like, girl, is he trying to trap you? And she, of course, Latricia, oh my gosh, she just don't know. Oh, I don't know. what do you know? What do you know at this point? Okay? Because I don't understand why you're not divorced yet. I don't even understand why Ken is a factor. Why are you guys even going to counseling if you're not even divorced from this current man yet? As far as I'm concerned, Ken, you need to stay yourself in whatever apartment you got or down to Will's, whatever he is, down to his barbershop. Okay. Stay down there, Latricia, until you get yourself out of this marriage and into some real deep for me, okay? Potentially, I'm probably the last person to talk, okay? Some real deep grief therapy, because I think that with all of the loss, when you lose a family member, you feel like you're losing your mind anyway. So I am for sure that ain't none of this helping. So you need to cut yourself loose from that previous relationship and do some healing before you go messing around trying to have another kid with this man over here who is in and out and in and out and and doing all the things and whatnot and whoop de whoop. No, girl, like take some time to yourself, relax your mind, your body, your soul, and get out of fight or flight mode, because that is I can if you look if and if you've gone through grief before, let me say this. Let me get on my soapbox. If you've gone through grief before, okay, you know that for a very long time, your mind and body can exist in this fight or flight mode. Okay. And what we see in my eyes, and I'm not a therapist, but you learn to recognize that fight or flight mode when you see it. And to me, that is what I get from Latricia. That's what I gets. So, girl, take a beat. Take a beat. Take a beat. Because this baby conversation, what about that baby though? This ain't it. This is not it. Okay? So, you guys remember that we recapped this show right here. Y'all remember that, right? I personally loved College Hill, the celebrity edition. I thought it was such a fun reality TV show to watch, with such a good message. And I love that it highlighted, HBCUs. I personally did not go to an HBCU. I went to a PWI. I went to Virginia Tech, and then I went to Michigan State, right? So I didn't have that experience, but I did grow up not too far from A&T. So I did get to experience what homecoming was like, even when I was younger. Don't ask what. No, I went there with like a college program. So that's why I got to experience that. Having said that, I mean, for me, I was dead set on going to Virginia Tech because my cousin had went there for a brief period of time. We went there for a band competition, and I just fell in love with the campus itself. I knew that's where I wanted to be, and that was the only college that I applied to. I applied early decision, and that was it. I got in early, so I think I knew where I was going by like October of my senior year, and I didn't even have to think about it no more. But seeing this also makes me sort of wish I had that experience, right? Because I think that there's probably nothing like it. And so we remember Joseline and Amber Rose getting into it. Okay. And we remember at the time, to me, I kept thinking, why is Joseline like so like she came across a bit like a bully on that show. I'm not gonna lie to you. She did. She did. And not realizing much of what Amber Rose would become in terms of such a political personality. At the time, I think I felt more team Amber Rose at that time because I felt like Joseline was sort of bullying Parker. And, I was always a little annoyed with the whole Ray J of it all, which Ray J to me is a very frustrating reality TV personality for a whole lot of reasons. Um, in some respects, I think that Ray J is super smart. I think that he has an eye for vision in terms of what he's doing, or at least was doing, from what my knowledge in the tech spaces. So that's what's frustrating to me about him. And I feel like he tends to be the architect of his own demise, and I don't necessarily understand why. However, that was then. So what is happening now is completely different. Okay? So I'm going to take you down this crooked path to where we have landed today. Okay? So, Amber Rose, sometime around the beginning of March, she made an appearance on, when I looked it up on his page, this photo was taken from March the 4th. So when I looked this information up, because I had to go back into the weeds just a little bit, right? And I'm trying as hard as I can to give you a chronological order of what I understand. No, I actually didn't. Just to clarify, I grew up in Virginia. I grew up near the North Carolina border, right? Um, NC State, that's what I'm talking about right there. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the where I'm familiar with that at. But all right, so here we have Amber on Club Shay Shay. Now I'm assuming, because I did not watch this interview, because to be quite frank with you, I don't feel like I am the audience for that particular show. And as such, I just don't have any interest in watching his interviews, although they are watched by many. And I don't deny his prominence in this arena, right? And I have nothing negative to say about it. I just know that if it's not for me, I don't watch it, and I'm cool with that. I'm a live and let live type of person. But for the sake of this conversation, I just want you to know she was on there. As a result, okay? As a result, right. Hey, boo. Hey, my boo. Yes, very self aware. I just know what is for me and I know what is not for me. And there is no disrespect there. Okay. It's just like shopping at the Gap is not for me. It's not. Um, there's going to be very little that I can fit. I'm a 6'3" black man. Okay. Personally, I do not feel as though Gap makes clothes for a man with a very long torso and long legs. I just don't. Ergo, I don't shop there. Right. But listen, shop there if you like. So anyway, I am sure in some way, shape, or form, because if you're going to interview Amber Rose, and this is me as an interviewer, I am going to ask her about her and Joseline. I'm assuming that's what happened, okay? Because Joseline, has the "Why Are You Here" TV, okay? Now, what is "Why Are You Here" TV? Mm-hmm. Why Are You Here TV is Joseline's streaming network, which happens to be $5.99 per month or $59.99 for the year. Now, let me just state this, guys. I personally feel like Joseline, whether you like her or not, is probably one of the smartest reality TV show personalities in the game. First of all, the $5.99 is truly for entertainment. Is truly it's a minuscule amount. Okay, it's really minuscule. Compared, it's less. That's less than a drink at Starbucks. Trust me, I know because I likes my Starbucks. Okay. Um, I personally believe in this model. I would do it myself. Um, at some point I might, right? But at the end of the day, I love that she values herself enough to know her worth and what she can provide. I'm going to give her that because I feel like she deserves it. I don't like everything she does. I don't like how she be beating up on them girls on her show. I really don't. But I respect her business acumen in this way. Now, so what she did was she has these interview clips that you can only find on Why Are You Here TV. Now, granted, that's the streaming service name. I do not like the name per se because whenever I hear Why Are You Here, I think of Why Is She Here, Ike? And I cannot get it out of my mind. Okay. Made famous from what? Ike and Tina. All right. Why is she here, Ike? So I always think of that when I think of that name. So I'm kind of like, girl, can you have named it something else? Because then it makes me think, well, why are you here? But anyway, nonetheless, me not liking the name is my problem, not hers. The point is, she used her platform to respond to Amber Rose and her appearance on Club Shay Shay. And she proceeds to drag her. Okay. She drags Amber Rose's, I don't know if she still does the slut walk thing, but she literally, I mean, she literally, if you watch the Dawn Robinson interview, I'm not interview, Dawn Robinson from her van, okay? If you happen to watch Dawn in the van, then first of all, Dawn, let me say something to you. Because, girl, if you was smart, you would be putting out way more videos. You would be putting out way more videos about you in the van life, okay? If I was Dawn Robinson, I would be interviewing other singers from the van. Ain't nobody doing that. There is nobody out there who is interviewing singers from the van. Girl, interview R&B stars of yesteryear in your van, invite them into your van or a van that looks like your van, and start making some of these residual coins online. I don't see. Sometimes I just feel like people don't be thinking. The money is dangling right there in front. Oftentimes, the money is right in front of you. I'm talking to you who watching this. The money is right there in front of you. You just doing any and everything else versus running out here and getting that money, getting this coin. Okay. Now I'm not saying that Dawn is destitute and she needs it, but by golly, again, as I stated yesterday, the car note is due. The van note will be due. Okay. And if the van note ain't due, then the parking lot fee that you're gonna have to pay to park that van is due. And I don't know where you park that van at, girl. But listen, get your money. Interview somebody in that van. Anyway, what I was saying was that Joseline drags her harder than Dawn dragged the quote dusty divas of En Vogue. Okay. Now, picture that. It's so bad that I can't even play it. Mm-mm. Not the way she talk about these allegedly these people and these men be running up and through. Uh, she just, I mean, she just takes it. She takes it to a whole nother level. Okay, so what I want to point out to you is then she goes here. And she says this. Y'all learning, and let me tell you something. Being in this content media space, you have not only got to look up the sources, this things. I got to be an engineer to operate all of this behind the scenes. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. I got to be. You got to doggone well be, and you got to learn software platforms. You got to do all of that. Okay, if you're gonna do it in this way, if you mean, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm just letting you know the trials. Anyway, so she says this. I definitely think Amber and Ray J were, I mean, bump, cause she's freaky and nasty. They were so tight. That's not your bestie. Y'all effing. Y'all, it went there. Okay. Now, Amber Rose, well, Ray J has responded. I am not going to even go through Ray J's response because, to be quite frank with you, um, well, I don't know where Ray J's head is, to be quite honest with you. And as a result, I just am going to follow my instincts and refer you to Amber's response. And I will play it's all contained in this post, which you will find when I'm done with this video on the neighborhood talk. But for me, my commentary is better suited to Amber's response versus Ray J's. Okay. So, having said that, I'm going to have to play you via phone because you guys couldn't hear it earlier. But it's fine because we got it. We got it. Okay. Just like Miss Quad, we got it. We got it. So let me go back. These are all of Ray J's responses. Okay, so let's start here. Amber Rose responds to Joseline by accusing her of being a Trump lover, claims Joseline bullies her because she's quiet. You were trying to F me the whole time on College Hill. You're a weirdo. Tell the truth. So, we're going to play you some of what Amber Rose had to say. Okay? Listen closely.
I wasn't even gonna address this stupid before, but I will now because it's been many, many years, and this bitch constantly bullies me because she knows I'm quiet, and that's why she underestimated me when I ran up on her. And no, I did not sneak her. That girl watched me like this, walk up to her. She knew I was coming. She didn't know I was gonna swing on her, but she knew I was coming. And let's be all the way clear, Jocelyn, you were trying to me the whole time at College Hill. And when I said that on Shannon Sharp's show, you had your lawyer send a cease and desist as if I was going to reiterate on the internet after that. I already said what the I said. Not only were you trying to me, you were trying to Parker Posey as well. And sorry, Parker, I love you, girl. But you was trying to. I wasn't even going to address this.
Let's start there, okay? So Amber was on Shannon Sharp. She says that she felt like Joseline was trying to bully her. And she tells us that Joseline sent a cease and desist. Amber also alleges that Joseline was trying to allegedly get in to the Pantays. Okay? So let's continue on.
When you locked her out of her room. So if you want to really tell the truth, tell the whole truth, Jocelyn. You walked in there like you was running a prison, but nobody was with you. So sit there and lie about you not wanting to me because Sway was there, he heard it. Ray J was there, he heard it. Iman was there, he heard it. New York was there, she heard it. And all of production heard it as well. So try to play with me if you want to, because I will call Tracy Edmonds and I will get the footage. I'll figure it out, but I have no reason to lie. I have never, ever lied on the internet, ever. And that's when you started bullying me and say, why you talk white? Why you talk white? They didn't show all that on the show. They didn't show all that. You was going up to, mind you, this is BET. Most of the production was black, okay? She was going up to black producers, well-spoken either, when you locked her out of her room. American black producers and saying, why you talk white? Why you talk white? And I'm like, girl, what? Are you okay? What the is your problem? Mind you, your husband has a white mom. Your husband is biracial, Joseline. By the way, you're a real sick. You're sick. And why don't you tell Black Instagram and Black Twitter that you love Trump? Why don't you tell them that? Since we put it all out there, bitch, you love Trump. We talked about it. You love Donald Trump, girl. So while everyone's trying to project all this me that I don't identify with my black side, that's a lie. This wanted me to deny my black mother. That's why I punched her in her mouth. Don't you just want to be American black producers and saying why you talk white? Why you talk?
Oh. You know what? After listening to this, I feel like I need a good old spiritual hymn to heal myself. Okay, I really do. I I I I I feel the inexplicable need to hear some type of spiritual to take me back to my zen. So let's talk about it. I think a lot of us wondered, myself included. I wanted to know, well, who won? Well, back in the day, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Okay, my vibration was a little bit down here, and to be quite frank with you, my vibration for today's story, okay, it had to come back down a little bit. I generally like it to be here, and I knew that in order to get into this story, I would have to come back down to here. I don't suggest any of that for you guys, in general. But since we are here today and we're going to talk about this, where do we go from here with this scenario? Okay. Um, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna get too politico, right? And I will say you are correct because I did listen to what I did listen to quite a bit of what Ray J said. What Ray J said, oh,
Be cool with you. I ain't gonna let it slide, bro. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but you a real hoe.
yeah. See, I mean, it was going there, and so that's why I kind of just said, you know what? But thank you, Gwendolyn, for affirming. you know what was being said. All right. Um. Ooh, I'm looking at y'all comments. Um, what I will say is from what I remember on the show, to be quite frank with you, I do think that Joseline came across as a bully on that show. Whether or not she feels like she was or not, she definitely did. I do feel like at the time, my feelings about Amber Rose aside in the present, I do feel like at that time, I felt like she was poking Amber Rose. And I felt like at the time, Amber rolled up and did what she did, right? And at that time, I was like, I can't really blame you. You can only push a person so far, especially when it comes to who they are. Now, Amber in present day, I feel like has quite a variety of opinions that sometimes seem to come in a little bit of a contrast to what she said here. But I'm gonna leave that for y'all to figure that out on your own, because I really try to stay away from the too much about politics on my channel, other than to tell you guys that you need to vote and that you need to get your passport, okay? And have your birth certificate, like have your birth information as well, okay? If you want to be voting, if you want to be moving about this country, get a passport. If your relatives do not have a passport, get them a passport. For me, I walked with my mother down last year to go get her passport, okay? I walked with her to get it. We went through the entire process together, and I got on her nerves every second of the way. And guess what? I didn't care, because I was reading the tea leaves. Number one. Okay. So if you or somebody does not have their passport with the correct spelling of your name and your last name, you need to get that corrected immediately. Okay. Also have the information on your birth, like either a birth certificate or registration. You can go down to, in some cases, you can go down to the DMV and get some of these records. Do that. Okay. That I try to do my due diligence in that way. All right. Um, I would say go ahead and re-up as soon as you can. That would be my suggestion. Go ahead and re-up on that one, because there's there are already delays that are being experienced, and I don't want anybody caught up in it. Okay. I want everybody to be able to have their privileges to go in and vote as you should be able to, and to be able to maneuver throughout the world as you need to. Okay. Now, it's funny to me, but not shocking, that Amber Rose also tosses out, "Oh, you also love DTJ." Wait, whatever his name is. Okay. You also love DT. She also loves DT, y'all. She's a DT lover. Lover, 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 lover. Go get her. It's kind of like, it's very interesting the way she framed that to me. Almost like, yeah, I know that liking this person is gonna get you in trouble with your people. Okay. So what, I'm gonna out you as a DT lover so that you can be canceled too. Um, I thought that part was very interesting, because I think everything else that she said, she was pretty much. I don't know. We don't know what the case was with whether or not Joseline wanted to sleep with this woman or not. I mean, Amber Rose, despite some of the things that she says, um, in my opinion, she's still a gorgeous woman. Um, I love a tattoo. I'm not much of a fan of that. I would tattoo my entire body. I just don't want to do this. Okay. But that's just for me, right? That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Um, yeah, I thought that last part about, oh yeah, guys, she also loves DT. And what it made me think about was something that Lizzo stated a while ago in a Instagram rant. And she stated that you're gonna see a lot more celebrities, come out to show support of the DT movement. And by DT, I'm using code. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. Ashley. um, Ashley, there you go. Okay. Um, that's kind of what I wonder as well. Like, because we do know that there are billions being poured into the campaign. Where are those billions going? Anyway, um, I'm gonna leave that right there because I feel like that part to me was a bit of a. I don't know if you call that if that is particularly a dog whistle, but it is definitely a let me really get at you with something that I know that is going to be really, really bad for you and expose you to your audience. She loves DT, y'all. She loves him. Tell him. Why don't you tell them that? Tell them that. And I want to know from you guys, would that change your opinion of Joseline anyway? Here's the thing. As I watch people like Tristan Thompson, even, Nick Cannon, I've always had my thoughts about him in general. I am not somebody who, in general, supports someone who runs around having a bunch of kids that they are not going to be willfully present for all of them, and they have the knowledge that they're not going to be when they potentially could be. I know that the man is busy working, he does his thing, and that's his prerogative to do whatever he likes. And if the women involved know, then that is also their prerogative too. I just don't like how I don't like it. And that's just me, and that's cool. It is what it is. So coming from people that I actually don't respect their what I don't have a reason to respect the things that they say. It really doesn't bother me at this point when I see them coming out and supporting whomever they support because I never really respected their opinion about about politics in the first place. So, when I see these people pop up and they're saying these things, um, it doesn't really impact my mind or my mentality one way or another because when I want to get real raw and true information from sources about what's actually happening, I know exactly where to go. And it is not to those people. Now, the problem is, I know that there are tons of people who do listen to celebrities and what they say, and they don't filter it through the same filters that I'm filtering it through, right? I've worked in the entertainment industry. I've been in some of these circles for a very, very long time. And it's part of the reason why I'm very much a lone wolf. I stay to myself. I have great friends who are in this industry, but I don't push to be amongst any of that at this point because I truly just believe in building my own empire and helping other people build theirs, without necessarily having to play any of the Hollywood games. Okay, so those are my thoughts on it. Um, I would always say this to you guys is to when you see these people pop up and you see all of a sudden them supporting something that you've never really heard them talk about before. I mean, just always sort of take it with a grain of salt and make your own decisions based on information that you have researched diligently yourself and from people who have been in these spaces for a very long time, who have no other reason to inform you of the truth other than the fact that they fight for truth and justice all the time. And their history will usually show that they do. That is who you want to listen to with regards to whether it is politics or anything else. Okay. Having said that, what do you think? Are you a supporter of Joseline? And why are you here, TV? Is that it? Why are you here? I don't know. Whatever it is. Are you watching? Okay. Did you really want to know who won in that dust up between Amber Rose and Joseline? I did. I did. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's quite low vibrational plate. It is actually a plate of chitlins and pig's feet. Okay. I know that. I realize it. That is a giant heaping. It is actually a dripping plate of chitterlings and pig's feet. Dripping. It is so soaking wet with low vibration that the chitterlings and the pig's feet are the juice is dripping through the styrofoam plate and onto your sneakers. Okay. No, and you don't even have on sneakers. You got on open toed sandals. Okay. That is how low vibrational that thought is. But I do have to admit that I did want to know. Okay. I did. And at the time, I was Team Amber Rose in that argument. In that argument, I was Team Amber Rose. I'm going to let you guys know that. So, and again, like I said, I readily admit, I it's a low vibrational thought. It's super, it's all of it is super low, but you know, I wanted to talk about this specifically because it is a show that I did love. When I think back on the idea of College Hill, I still think that it's such a great concept. And I hope that they don't stop it in the wake of everything that's kind of happening with Paramount and BET and BET Plus. I really just I hope that they don't let this show go by the wayside because of the rearranging of priorities over at Paramount. Okay, that's what I hope. And I see I wasn't the only one. Landria says I was Team Amber in that moment as well. I wanted to go back through a couple of your comments before I um Motown in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Um Allergic to the B. Oh, I love this name. Allergic to the BS says Joseline isn't someone I would follow or listen to about anything except Ratchet TV, which is my guilty pleasure of gutter entertainment and nothing else. I mean, you stated that perfectly. Um, and that's why I don't knock anyone that watches I don't knock those shows because I know that it's entertainment, and it's something that we take a peek at it and we want to watch and we want to see, oh my God, that they are a mess. And it kind of makes you look back at your own life and like you're like, oh God, like, my life ain't like that. I mean, I'm not getting whooped up on like they're being whooped up on. Yes, go on ahead and get that passport renewed. Go ahead and do it. Okay, this was what I saw earlier. The Chili Saga. Some people are saying to do a GoFundMe for T-Boz so she can bow out gracefully. The concert tour may carry on and T-Boz still gets paid. Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, the solution for the T-Boz of it all is really for T-Boz and Chili of TLC to go and tour with an an act like the Backstreet Boys, who are constantly touring. I don't think that that particular audience, and I could be wrong, would really care that much about who Chili donates to. And based on the comments from yesterday, there are quite a few people who don't care um who Chili aligns herself with in terms of her politics and who she donates to. So, some people were in the chat saying, y'all just mad and I'm going to the concert anyway. And to that, I say, go. Absolutely. You go wherever you feel led to go. There is a part of me that still wants to go. And I wonder, do I separate the battle that I think we have sometimes is, do we separate ourselves or do we separate the artist from the music? Because you think about the legacy of the music is that not only did, was it T-Boz and Left Eye, and I believe we know exactly, well, I don't know. You know what? I can't say that. But I just feel like we were left with a legacy with TLC of this music that was it's timeless. Songs written by Candy Burris and produced by Shakespeare that represented a certain time in our lives that we will never forget. So, do am I able to separate the art from the artist? And that's a question that we've been trying to reconcile since we've dealt with Bill Cosby and since we dealt with R. Kelly. And for some people, even with the Diddy situation, are you, and to be very real with you, I'll run into people who are like, well, I'm going to still sneak and listen to my R. Kelly. I'm going to listen to this. Or do we still watch the Cosby show? Because there are so many other people involved with the show, right? So these are real questions that we deal with all the time, and we have to continuously ask ourselves. And sometimes we get tired. I think that's just where I'm at with it. I'm so tired of now having to choose. Like, and when I realize, like, oh my God, like, granted, our entertainers aren't going to always do everything that we like. And I think we know that. I don't think that there's any denying that. But there are lines for us at this point. There are lines that we are having to sort of draw for ourselves, and each individual person has to draw that line. Personally speaking, I think that T-Boz and Chili should. I think that they should move into touring with the Backstreet Boys again. I think they've done that quite a few times in the past. That way, get your money, right? Especially for T-Boz. We know where T-Boz is aligned. We understand what she stands for. Everything about the music and who T-Boz is, for at least from what we can see, aligns perfectly with the values of the audience that is going to the show. However, as a whole, because their music extended itself into the pop world, and we know that they've been successful with touring with those other acts, go back, go tour with them. Maybe within time, things may change. But for now, I would replace them with an SWV or an Escape. And, you know, that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. Or at least someone else who was big enough to be able to have those levels of hits, like a Janet or somebody like that, right? If Janet wanted to go on tour, I'm sure if Janet replaced TLC, I mean, but who knows? Hey, what's going on, Late Night Gossip Official? Okay. Love Queen. I'm gonna post your comment here because I think that it extends a little bit more into what Ray J said. Love Queen says, I like what Ray J said because Joseline is a bully and she's out of control, and her husband should be more of a husband and stand up with helping his wife do better. I think that regarding your comment, I think that this is one of those situations where this is technically Joseline's business. And I mean, unless he's also involved, I mean, he may be involved, but I'm not sure that, it's his name on the contracts in terms of what she has built or is building. Now, I'm sure he's there to help. I'm sure, but I, I don't know the level of involvement. So it's definitely difficult for me to say, because just because your partner does something doesn't mean that you agree with it, and that you're not saying something behind the scenes. But Jocelyn strikes me as the type of person that it really wouldn't matter what he said, because what she's saying is probably bringing in so much money. I mean, I think that could be a reality. I don't know. And at times it feels like that, right? You do feel like, oh my God, you see so much on the news. And that's also why it's important to curate safe spaces for yourself. So sometimes when I tell you guys, I feel like a story is dripping in chitterling juice and pig's feet and hog moth, it's because I also know that I work diligently to curate a mental space for myself that is definitely focused on, travel and helping people learn, grow, and make more money. But I also know that this platform is an introduction for a lot of people to my ways of thinking, which aren't always correct, right? But I do want to help take people to other places, right? I want to take people to Bali, to Vietnam. I want to take them to Cape Town, to South Africa. I want to take them to places. I want to introduce them to books, you know what I'm saying? I want to introduce them to, ways that they can also make money, which is why we do our master classes. We do have a masterclass coming up on Tuesday, y'all. So click in the description. The link is already there. Hop in. I don't want any more than I don't know that I ever want any more. I can't say that. Everybody who can jump in, because everybody who left this past week, again, they left with a plan of action and goals. So I'm expecting emails from people with their videos, with their plans, like whatever we set in motion for you. I'm expecting that in return. So yes, when you say I'm tired of picking and choosing, I get it. I feel you. I see you. I hear you, and I understand completely. And I think a lot of us feel that way. And I think that's what the whole chili situation. I think that's where it kind of just chaps our butt a little bit, right? I'm looking at y'all comments right now. Eek. Whew. Listen, y'all, baby, y'all got some strong opinions over here. I'm reading y'all comments. I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. I feel like Sheree. Ooh, ooh. That's how I feel right now, reading y'all comments. And some people are, they say that they battle with listening to music from R. Kelly or either watching the Cosby Show. It's crazy. It's crazy the times that we are living in, right? It is crazy. All right. All right, y'all. So look, thank you guys for tuning in and tapping into today's show. I appreciate you so much for tuning in. I know some of y'all are working, some of y'all are, getting other things done, but you managed to tune in. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments, every comment, whether we agree or we disagree. The fact of the matter is that we still come together each and every day to have a good old conversation. With that being said, y'all, listen, I'm about to go. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.